Puri kare sarva anusandhana. Ramacandra Puri concerned himself with gathering all sorts of information about how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was situated, including his regulative principles, his lunch, his sleep, and his movements. Antilila 8.43. Prabhuraya ka guna sparshite narila chidra chahi bule kanha kaha chidra na paila. Because Ramacandra Puri was interested only in finding faults, he could not understand the transcendental qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His only concern was finding faults, but he still could not find any. Sanyasi haya kare mishtana bhakshana ei boge haya kaiche indriya varana. At last he found a fault. How can a person in the renounced order eat so much sweetmeats? He said, if one eats sweets, controlling the senses is very difficult. Ei ninda kari kahe sarva lokastane prabhu re dekhite ha avashya aise pratidine. In this way, Ramacandra Puri blasphemed Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before everyone. But nevertheless, he would regularly come to see the Lord every day. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yat krupathamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinata Harinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwara. Hare Krishna. So Ramacandra Puri was unfortunately maybe he was overconfident or arrogant, or he's supposed to have committed the greatest of aparat, which is to criticize his own guru. So when his guru, Ishvara Puri, was in the last stages of his life, his guru Madhavendra Puri was in the last stages of his life. He was practically bedridden, he was unable to move. So he used to pass urine and stool wherever he was. And then he would chant a prayer, very nice prayer actually. He would chant a prayer in which he would say, oh my Lord, in this lifetime I have not managed to achieve you. So I wasted one more life. I have not managed to achieve your shelter in Mathura or any place, or your lotus feet. So one more life of mine has gone waste, useless, worthless. So he would be lamenting like that. And he would be shedding tears also, Madhavendra Puri. And he would be chanting slokas in separation from Krishna. That is when Ramacandra Puri enters the scene, looks at his own guru, Madhavendra Puri, and makes a comment saying, what happened to you? Why are you chanting something sentimentally? You should actually be focusing on, concentrating on Brahman, merging with Brahman or something like that. So why are you saying all this sentimental thing? This is not good, this is not correct. You should focus on Brahman. That will give you stability. And so he had the audacity and misfortune of trying to instruct his own guru and correct his guru, instruct his guru, also criticize his guru. But there was another disciple, Ishvara Puri. Ishvara Puri, unmindful of what Ramacandra Puri was doing, was rendering very menial, intimate, personal service to Madhavendra Puri. He recognized that Madhavendra Puri's condition is very rare, rarely attained. He was in very deep trance of separation of Krishna, very desirable thing to feel there's such intense separation from Krishna, the holy Dham connected with Krishna. So Ishvara Puri continued to render service in a very menial way, like cleaning his stool, cleaning his urine, cleaning him, bathing him, wiping him clean, keeping him clean. And he would also chant shlokas which deepens the meditation of Madhavendra Puri. Chant shlokas and verses which speak about this mood of lamentation, separation from Krishna, etc. So Madhavendra Puri liked it very much. He liked that gesture, chanting those verses which increases his intensity and remembrance of Krishna. Liked those verses which speak about separation from Krishna. And the fact that he was rendering menial services when he was in a helpless condition. So it is said that Madhavendra Puri blessed Ishwara Puri and said, you become a very nice, great devotee of Krishna. May you be blessed. But at the same time, he was so frustrated with his disciple Rāmacandra Puri that he rebukes him. He rebukes and chastises him. He says, please get out of my vision. Don't come here. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see your face. You're such an inconsiderate, heartless, stone-hearted person. In addition to that, you're unnecessarily criticizing, trying to correct your own guru. So Madhavendra Puri rebukes him and says, just get out, don't come here. Actually, there's a big debate among Vaishnava scholars whether Madhavendra Puri rejected his disciple Rāmacandra Puri or he just rebuked him, just chastised him. Some people say he rejected, some people say he didn't reject, he just chastised him, showed his anger, displeasure at Rāmacandra Puri. But in one sense, his real fall down happened when he criticized his own guru. See, criticism is a very dangerous thing. Somehow, Vaishnavas, we should develop this attitude to say that practically everybody, I mean, most of the people are trying to serve Krishna to the best of their ability. Maybe they have some weakness, maybe they have some fault, maybe there's some carry forward weakness or fault or something. So over a period of time, we should pray that they should get corrected. Like Haridas Thakura, he was being beaten in 22 marketplaces by the Nawab of that time because he was a Muslim and he was still chanting Hare Krishna. So the Nawab warned him. He said, you will be punished. You should stop chanting because you are Muslim. So you should not chant. You should chant Allah's name. Why are you chanting this name? And he was threatened with punishment also. And so Haridas Thakura was not only criticized, was not only insulted, and the other extreme also, it's there. The Muslims rejected him, some of the caste Hindus, the Brahmanas also rejected him. They said, how can we accept you? You're a Muslim. You cannot be accepted as a Vaishnava in this lifetime. Maybe next lifetime, if you're born, maybe next time you have lifetime you have a chance, but not in this lifetime. So both ways he was rejected. But Haridas Thakura was so graceful. He said that, yes, I'm so fallen, which is why I was born in a Muslim family. So I'm not surprised that orthodox caste, Varnashrama type of Hindus and Brahmanas have rejected me. I deserve to be rejected. I deserve to be kept. Actually, Haridas Thakura would think that if someone were to see his shadow also, his face also, they are probably committing an offense. So he would hesitate to go in front of the Jagannath temple. Later on, trying to enter, he would not even go. He would think that if these people, the priests and pandas and pujaris who are going, if they see me, then it is misfortune for them. It is inauspicious for them. So he would hesitate to go even to the temple. And here, because he was a Muslim and chanting Hare Krishna, he was punished. So it is said that he did not protest, he accepted his punishment, saying, some karma of mine. And it is also said that he was constantly praying that Krishna kindly forgive these people, for they know not what they are doing. So he was praying for their redemption and forgiveness, seeking their forgiveness. As they were beating him with whips and canes and sticks, and he was praying constantly to Krishna. It is said that Krishna was so infuriated, he was so angry at the way Haridas Thakur was being treated, that he invoked his Sudarshan Chakra to punish all those agents of the Nawab who were entreating Haridas Thakur. But because of the power of Haridas Thakur's prayer, it is said that he could not invoke his Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra came, but it didn't come in its fiery form. So then, so Krishna could not deploy his Sudarshan Chakra, because it came in a very, it didn't come in the normal fiery form. So Krishna himself becomes surprised and says that, all right, what's the next best thing I can do? I don't have the Sudarshan Chakra because it's refusing to act because of Haridas Thakur's prayers. So Krishna says, okay, I will just protect Haridas Thakur by lying down on him and taking the beating instead of him. So during the Mahaprakash Leela, it is said that Lord Chaitanya shows his back and shows marks of whiplashes and beatings. He said, I took it on behalf of Haridas Thakur, because he was praying for forgiveness. So actually it is said that Vaishnava is above normal criticism, because genuine Vaishnava is very gentle, he is very very soft, very forgiving, very kind, very compassionate. Vaishnava is a person who, even though he may be hungry, he will distribute food, prasadam, to anybody who comes, and if something remains, he takes it. Vaishnava is a person whose heart is, Krishna is dancing in his heart, because it's so free of contamination, free of envy, free of pride, free of selfish ulterior motives. Vaishnava wishes good for everybody else. Vaishnava is always eager and anxious to serve everybody. Vaishnava is not standing in the line, first in the line, to take some credit for something that has happened. Vaishnava is always acknowledging that everything that's good or nice is happening by mercy of Guru and Krishna, and not because it's because of me. Vaishnava always thinks, I've never been a good instrument in the hands of the Lord. I have so much pride, arrogance, I have my own selfishness, I have my desire for puja, labha, respect, adoration, worship, following. I have all of these contaminations. How can I be, in spite of me being such an improper, tainted, contaminated instrument, the Lord is still making miracles happen. So how I can take the credit for that? Vaishnava is always in that mood. So generally speaking, Vaishnavas are expected to be above faults. Of course, the biggest fault being becoming envious of devotees or Krishna. So Vaishnava is eager to be a servant, eager to be an instrument in the hands of God. So, and someone as exalted as Madhavendra Puri, Rāmacandra, his own disciple, has the audacity and misfortune of trying to find faults. So, while appreciating, serving, appreciating, glorifying, or fulfilling the instruction of Guru, Vaishnavas is the formula, is the secret formula, if I may, for success in spiritual life. Criticizing the opposite will happen. If we are critical of Krishna and Guru and Vaishnavas, the opposite will happen. In fact, Lord Chaitanya mentions at one time about Haridas Thakur. He says that your humility, your gentleness, your humbleness, your your simplicity, and your surrender to whatever is happening as it comes by time. You surrender everything, you offer it, I treat it as a mercy of Guru and Krishna. So gentle and gentle you are that thinking about you and this quality of gentleness that you have, it's breaking my heart. Mahaprabhu tells about Lord Chaitanya. And Vaishnava generally, he is not very eager and aggressive in trying to defend himself or project himself or fight for himself or argue or like that. Krishna is very, he says, even before somebody can tell him, he says, I know, I realized I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have behaved like that. It was a mistake. So they're very eager to accept their mistakes and take any suggestion from any source. Vaishnava is grateful to anybody who corrects him. So imagine such an exalted Vaishnava like Madhavendra Puri, and his own disciple Rāmacandra Puri has this misfortune of finding faults with him, and later on it becomes his nature. The thing about finding faults is somehow conditioned souls have a weakness for that. We like to talk ill about somebody, and it's some kind of a strange rasa we get. Rasa we get by finding faults with somebody. And actually finding faults when it is not your job is directly a consequence of envy in the heart. We can't tolerate that somebody is respected more successful, more erudite, more scholarly, more successful in his spiritual endeavors. We generally can't tolerate. So we have to, our mind will tell there must be something wrong. It's like Bhakti Siddhanta says that somebody becomes a high court judge, becomes very famous, very respected, and powerful like that. Those days to become a high court judge was a very powerful thing. So you go and tell, so the news that he became a big man has come to the village. So the villagers, one or two of them out of envy will say, no, they must have made him an honorary judge. I'm sure they're not giving him salary. Then they'll say, no, he's getting a salary, he has servants, he has a vehicle, he has an office, he has servants, he's this, he's that. Then again, this person will say, maybe he bribed somebody and so that's how he got it, or something like that. Then again, it's established that he got this position by his own merit or something like that. They have to find fault with him. They'll say, no, how can he become a judge? Many years back, I saw him walking around without even clothes on his body. He was running around naked in this village. How can he become a judge? So you have to necessarily find something wrong, some fault in him. So this is the tendency of the human mind. So it's not that we look at Rāmacandra Puri and say that we should have, when we read this pastime, we should become very cautious and pray to Krishna that I may not slip into that kind of a mood, because it can happen easily without our knowledge. That's how Maya works generally. Without our knowledge. Initially we think that I'm a manager now, it's part of my duty to find faults, criticize, and because I'm the manager or I'm the leader or something like that. But if that is done in an irresponsible way, so then we have a problem. So the Vaishnava way is to be very careful, extremely careful when you have to correct somebody or instruct somebody. So we generally discuss with that person, tell him that we have great respect for you. We have seen how much you have struggled, but there's this one area we want you to think about it. Maybe you should think and reflect. Maybe you should change this one part. I hope it is okay with you. We don't want to offend you. In an honorable way, in a respectful way, we have to do that. If we don't do that in such a careful way, then there are some backlashes that may happen. Correcting a Vaishnava is not easy. It has to be done very carefully and respectfully. I remember one time I was asking, there was one devotee, senior devotee in Mayapur who got into some trouble. So I was with His Holiness Japataka Maharaj at that time. And I had some kind of a bitter feelings towards that devotee because of something that had happened between me and him. So now he was in a big spot of trouble. He had done something crazy and he was in trouble in Mayapur. So when I was with His Holiness Japataka Maharaj, I asked my Guru Maharaj, Guru, what did he do? Why did he get into trouble? My Guru Maharaj looked at me up and down. He didn't speak anything for a while. And other devotees around me also, they started looking at me saying, don't you know, Guru Maharaj doesn't like all this, discussing somebody's fall downs or weakness or criticizing them or trying to relish some rasa out of somebody else's weakness or faults. So I became very ashamed and I just bent my head and I was thinking, how can I apologize to my Guru Maharaj? I asked some very improper question. Not only question was improper, I had nothing to do with it. He was a leader in Mayapur community. I was somewhere in South India. It's just that for some reason we had some unpleasant experiences with each other. So I went and asked, of all people, I'm asking my Guru, say, tell him what wrong this disciple did. Guru Maharaj didn't answer. He was very grave. He didn't like it. I could make out from his face and everybody else. I just hung my head in shame. I kept quiet and then I was thinking I should apologize for asking this inappropriate, because it has nothing to do with me. Guru Maharaj says, the scripture says, if you can, you help that person, pray for him, do wish well for him. Don't go beyond that. Because there's a very thin thread which separates us from being, committing the same fault ourselves. Very thin line is there. Without our knowledge, we may cross the line and we may end up, if we unnecessarily reflect over, think over, meditate over somebody's weaknesses or faults, what will happen? Tell me. The same faults will come in you. I have personally experienced this a few times. Personally, I've experienced this in many embarrassing ways. When it was not my duty, it is not my job, it is not my responsibility, I'm not his authority. I'm talking about someone's fault and discussing this with somebody here or there. And before I know anything, that same nature comes into me. It has happened a few times. So the Guru Maharaj looked at me and then he replied to me. He said that he did something inappropriate. According to his position, he did something inappropriate. And I'm trying my best to help him, support him, and counseling him, and I'm trying my best. So he actually taught me a lesson without, taught me that, listen, if you can help, you help. Otherwise, don't spoil your mind by unnecessarily commenting. He said, I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to see that he gets back, readjust his services, something so that he carries on. And he also said, it was a mistake. And he said, anybody can do the same mistake. It was like he put plaster on my mouth and shut me up. So then I apologized to Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, I'm sorry, I asked you a very inappropriate question. I shouldn't have asked you. I should have actually prayed for him. But what to do? I had this anger or some previous experience which was not so pleasant. I'm sure it's wrong to carry these things in our mind. So I just kind of apologized to Guru Maharaj. But he taught me a valuable lesson. He said, it's not your business, don't criticize. Criticism, unnecessary criticism can destroy our spiritual life in a very subtle way. We may not even be aware. I remember one time, again, in management, we get into these awkward situations. So there was somebody who did not like some of the decisions that I made. And then he openly canvassed and campaigned against me within our temple community, within the SNGM community. He canvassed, he campaigned, and 99% of what he was saying against me was complete false. Completely false. By the time I had learned some lessons about how to deal with, so I just kept quiet. I said, okay, how long you can do that? Maybe once, maybe twice, maybe in my last life, I was the mother-in-law and he was the daughter-in-law or something like that, I thought. What is that thing they say in Hindi? Kabhi saas bhi kabhi something. So this is payback time. So I better keep quiet. So I kept quiet. I wrote something by way of clarification saying, I'm very sorry why my friend is writing like this, but there's no basis. Nothing of that nature has happened here. I'm ready to clarify. I'm ready to explain to anybody, to him also. I feel sad that he has taken up a personal crusade against me like this. So something gentle I wrote back. Years later, he called me and said, he said, oh, I don't think you actually forgive me for what I did. You have not forgiven me. I said, no, not really. Whatever you wanted to say, you said. And he took all these complaints to Guru Maharaj, SIDC, at various platforms. He started writing very, very aggressively against me. And I was just responding by way of a simple clarification and keeping quiet. So years later, he called me and then he said that I can still feel the backlashes of my irresponsible behavior at that time. I shouldn't have said what all I said. I shouldn't have spoken like that. I shouldn't have written like that. I realized that you were very deeply hurt but I respect your dignity that you didn't write anything about me to anybody. And you have not spoken ill about me to anybody. I know that. Prabhu, but there's one pain point in my life. Slowly after that incident, all my taste for chanting or devotional service started waning down so much that today I don't even have taste for picking up my beads and chanting. And I think all of this is because of my very offensive behavior towards you and your whole team which was managing the SNGM temple. I felt sad for him. I said, no, I don't want this to happen because of me. It's okay, whatever you have said, I've taken it as something that had to happen according to Kala time. But you see, the point is that one has to be gracious. One has to be very careful in how one responds to such situations. Just because someone has said something against you and that is completely false, bogus, completely false and bogus, that doesn't give a license to you to hit back with the same type of coin. Oh, you're saying something false against me? No, you'll also get the same thing. Oh, that would be very dangerous. Vaishnava is not like that. Vaishnava is like, you see, one of the hallmarks of a genuine devotee of the Lord is he's very eager to forgive. He says, all right, don't worry. I have not taken it into my heart. I'm not so big that I can forgive you or something, but I have not taken into my heart. I accept this as some helpless expression of your anger and not malice. Malice means deeply wishing ill for somebody. Anger means momentary. So I'll just take it as momentary expression of your anger or frustration. And not that you hold ill, you're having ill will or malice or devious, whatever. You wish me bad or something like that. I'm not looking at it like that. So it's okay. Sometimes happens. I also do some mistakes like that. So a devotee is like that. Devotee always forgives. Mother Sita was there in the forest. Hanuman, after the victory of Lord Rama, after Ravana is killed, goes to Mother Sita and he sees that all the Rakshasis, representatives of Ravana, as soon as they hear the news that Ravana has been killed and Sita will be set free and she will go back. So they're terrified. They're all terrified, especially when they see Hanuman. And Hanuman is looking at Mother Sita and saying that when I came here last time, when I was hiding in the tree up, I saw how they humiliated you, how they insulted you, how they did this to you, that to you, how they harassed you, how they intimidated you. The time to pay them back has come. They all should be punished for what they have done to you. Mother Sita will look at Hanuman and say, no, that's not how I look at it. Hanuman is surprised. He'll say, why not? I was witness. I saw. I can imagine how they would have treated you for a whole year. Then Mother Sita will say, no. Maybe they were just doing their duty on behalf of Ravana. Ravana was king. Maybe they were terrified of Ravana. If anybody is to blame, maybe Ravana is to blame. I don't blame them. They were just employees. What could they have done? If they had not done what Ravana had commanded, maybe they would have been punished or killed by Ravana. Having said that, Mother Sita will say, I have a small story that I want to tell you, Hanuman. Hanuman is so happy. He says, fine. Mother Sita is going to instruct me. So he listens to it. Maybe you've heard that story. It's very interesting. How many of you know that story of the tree, the bear and the tiger? Nobody? Hey, Kartikeya, you haven't heard? So, Mother Sita tells a story to Hanuman. She tells that in a forest, there was a hunter, there was a bear, and there was a tiger. So, the tiger is chasing the hunter. And the hunter is running for his life. And he'll find a tree and he'll climb up the tree because the tigers can't climb the tree generally. He climbs up and takes shelter on top of a branch in the tree. He's heaving a sigh of relief and he's catching up his breath. And he looks around. On one branch above him, there's a bear. There's a big fat bear, which is also there. So bear looks at him and says, Hari Bol. And this guy also says, Hari Bol or something like that. Welcome, welcome. This tree is giving shelter to you also. Then the tiger will be waiting down. Tiger will tell the bear that after some time, this guy goes to sleep on the branch. Tiger will tell the bear, push him down. He'll be my meal. We both are forest dwellers. This guy is from the city. He comes here to create havoc. Man can never be trusted. Like that, something in tiger will tell. You push him down. I'll eat him and I'll go. Then you're also free. Otherwise, I'll wait here. Whoever comes down first, I'm going to eat them. The bear will say, yes, he's a human. He's come. He has intruded into our kingdom. This animal kingdom. We're all there. But I cannot do what you're saying. How can I? He's come to take shelter of this tree. I don't want to do what you're asking me to do. Then the man wakes up and then, oh no, I think the man is awake. He's not sleeping. He hears the whole thing and he thanks the bear or something like that. After some time, the bear goes to sleep. Then the tiger will come back and tell the man, you push the bear, make it fall down. I'll eat the bear and I'll let you go. I'll let you go. You can escape. You go. I'll eat the bear. I'm hungry. I've been waiting for a long time. So then the man is negotiating with the tiger. He says, really? Can I believe you? He says, definitely you can believe me. 100% I'm speaking the truth. I speak nothing but the truth. Whatever I speak will become the truth. Something. You push him, I'll eat him and I'll go. Push the bear. Then this man thinks, okay, this is a way of buying freedom. After all, a bear. Who cares for the bear? He'll push the bear when it is sleeping. The bear will get so startled, and luckily when the bear is coming crashing down, it somehow is able to hold on to another branch and survives. Survive, bach gaya. Then the tiger will look at the bear and say, I told you not to trust these people. They're all from the city. City people are like that. They're very selfish. They have no morals. They have no principles. They have no truth. Nothing. They have no heart. They have nothing. They are like this. We both are friends. We both are living in the forest. This is our land. He's an intruder. At least now you please come to your senses and push that fellow down. Push him down. But the bear will say, no, that is against my dharma. I will not do that. Just come. Maybe he did wrong to me, he harmed me. But I cannot act like a man and do what he did. I'm an animal. We are better than a man or whatever, something like that. And the bear doesn't push him. So whatever he has said, I have forgiven him. I've forgiven him. And Mother Sita tells this story to Hanuman and say, I've forgiven them long back. There's no scope for entertaining grudge or anger or anything. So Mother Sita instructs Hanuman. See, these are qualities that a Vaishnava should have. They are sadhu bhushanam. They are ornaments of a devotee of the Lord, especially Vaishnavas. They should have. Haridas Thakur was praying constantly, saying, forgive them. Jesus Christ prayed, saying, for they know not what they are doing, please forgive them, my Lord. So, here Mother Sita is also forgiving them, saying, doesn't matter. So, in our scriptures, there are many stories which speak about this nature of the Vaishnava to tolerate, to forgive, to not be responsible for causing pain, anxiety, suffering. Even though he or she may have been wrong, some wrong has been done to you, like Mother Sita. She was confined in a very unfair manner. She was stolen, kidnapped, abducted, and confined, and threatened. But Mother Sita says, I'm forgiven. Hanuman learns a very valuable lesson. So, point is that so forget about criticizing one's guru. We should be careful when we criticize anybody. Very, very careful, very thoughtful actually, very, very careful. And best is if you find something very obnoxious, you check with him saying, Prabhu, you did this, you said this. Was there any reason you said this? Otherwise, maybe inappropriate, that sounds inappropriate. Maybe Prabhu, in my case, I will take it, but maybe you be careful when you speak like that to somebody else. See, a devotee wants to be responsible for his words, for his actions, for his behavior, for his attitude, for his thoughts also. Because it begins with the thought and later on graduates into becoming an action. Even thoughts. So we remember models like Haridas Thakura and other great acharyas who tolerated but never cursed, never showed anger, never criticized. The moment we cross the line and start criticizing when it is not our job, it is not our duty, we are not their guru or somebody, it will definitely have a backlash. Like this is another story also is there, where it says that unnecessary, unwarranted criticism invites so much pain, and like this whole story is there, another story in the Puranas, where it is said that somebody who unnecessarily criticizes takes a lot of karma, is inviting negative karma into their life. Not only negative karma, even it's like unnecessarily criticizing, you're giving shelter to those kind of qualities in your heart and mind. Unnecessary criticism makes the heart very hard, like a stone, like a rock. And like I told you, we develop that taste. Mind is like that, very poisonous. When you don't do something, then the mind wants to do that. So Rāmacandra Khan pays for it eventually, though he criticized, Rāmacandra Purī, I mean, though he criticizes Lord Chaitanya, where it was absolutely. So Lord Chaitanya actually reduced his eating, because Rāmacandra Purī criticizes Lord Chaitanya's eating and saying, "You're a sannyasi, how can you eat so much? And I think you're eating too much sweets, by the way, because I see some ants in your room. That must be because you eat a lot of sweets. So remnants of sweets have fallen." So Lord Chaitanya said, "I will completely stop. I'll eat 1/4 of what I'm eating now. Sannyasi, how can you control your senses? You may fall down," or something like that, he says. All the devotees become so heartbroken. But eventually, Rāmacandra Purī leaves the town and goes away. And then when he leaves, everybody is so relieved. And again, they start feeding Lord Chaitanya like before. But you don't see Lord Chaitanya replying in the same harsh way. He says, "You're like my father. You're like my guru, because you're my guru's disciple. Sorry, you're my guru's god brother. So I treat you like my guru." Rāmacandra Purī and Ishwara Purī were god brothers, disciples of Madhavendra Purī. He respected him immensely. So the danger of unnecessary criticism is it can become a habit. We will start relishing it. Without our knowledge, it will become a habit. And like it is pointed out in these shlokas that I read, you will start looking for faults everywhere, all the time, in everybody. You cannot accept that somebody is blessed by the Lord, endowed by the Lord. He's very sincere. He's much more sincere, much more capable, much more dedicated than I am. So he will obviously be successful. My business is to appreciate him, glorify him, learn from him. He may be younger than me also. So what? Somehow Krishna is impressed by his nature and attitude. So he's rewarding him. But if we give even a slightest shelter to this fault-finding tendency, then become our nature, then we will criticize everybody. We won't even spare Krishna. We won't even spare Guru. We won't even spare Vaishnavas. So the antidote for criticizing is somehow find something to appreciate. Of course, sometimes, like I said, in managerial responsibilities, we have to correct somebody, we have to help somebody. But that also we do in a very, very careful, balanced way, so that the person doesn't feel humiliated, doesn't feel insulted, doesn't feel depressed, doesn't feel hopeless. We do it in a very careful way so that he, like, you have a disease, you go to a doctor treats you and says, "Don't worry, do all this. I'm sure you'll get better." Like that. So we always come back with some hope from whichever doctor we go to, generally speaking. So when I go to a Vaishnava, they should feel not only here is a person who's trying to correct me in my interest, but here is a person who's also praying for me, who's willing to pray for me. So we feel reassured. Vaishnava is like that. Vaishnava should feel like that. I mean, when you interact with a Vaishnava, you should feel like that. So this is one of the things we should watch out for. We should never ever let this become a habit. So whenever we have an urge to criticize, you check your mind and say, find something good about him. Say that. Tell yourself. And finally, I want to say one thing. I've heard many acharyas speak this language. They say that When, let us say, somebody has a fault, somebody has a difficulty, somebody has done mistake or something, don't be the first to jump and start criticizing them. He has confessed that he has done a mistake, or he's caught red-handed doing a mistake. So don't be the first to jump the gun and start criticizing him and sharing it on WhatsApp and sharing it in all available platforms and saying, this guy caught red-handed, this or that. Don't do that. It is said that do unto others what you would want others to do unto you. Imagine that you have done that mistake. How would you like the world to treat you? How would you like Vaishnavas to treat you? How would you like your guru to treat you? If imagine yourself as the person who has done this mistake. So you also do the same thing. Don't be first to fire bullets, whatever. Don't do like that. Imagine you were in that situation. Show some sahanubhuti, show some empathy, show some sympathy, speak to them, explain to them, and say, Prabhu, if nothing works out, come to me. I will see how we can help you. Remember all the glorious services that he has done previously. I remember one time with this small incident, I'll close. When Guru Maharaj was there in Hyderabad a few years back, he had one devotee came to him, and unfortunately some personal fall down that he had, very nasty personal fall down that he had. So that became very public knowledge. Everybody started talking about it, gossiping about it. So he became so ashamed. It was very difficult. He was doing service for 30, 40 years. It became so difficult to convince him to come and meet Guru Maharaj. Finally, when Guru Maharaj got into the car and was ready to leave the place, somehow all of us caught him and said, meet Guru Maharaj. He came in front of Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj looked at him very, very compassionately, he held Guru Maharaj's hand. Guru Maharaj sitting in the car, and he started weeping. The elderly person, maybe 65 plus, something like that. He started weeping like a little kid, saying, because of me, you've been humiliated. I'm sure many people have said so many things. He was crying and weeping and saying, I don't know how it happened, but something, I became victim, and I'm not blaming anybody, I'm blaming myself. The Guru Maharaj caught his hand. Guru Maharaj also was, you could see his voice was choking. He said, because of all this, does it mean you'll reject me or something like that? Guru Maharaj said, and this hand very firmly and said, don't speak like that. I remember decades, so many years of some wonderful services that you have been doing to this movement here in various capacities. How can I forget that? I don't think Krishna also will forget that. It's okay, something went wrong, seriously went wrong. You see how to recover from that. I'm there to help you. I'm praying for you constantly. I'm happy you came and met me. My heart was so heavy that you didn't come to see me when I came here. So Guru Maharaj cajoled him, pacified him, reassured him that I'm there, I'm praying for you, I'm not rejecting you. So I was just standing 1 or 2 meters away and hearing the whole conversation. So it struck me as somebody who's, he could have also criticized, why did you do that? Why did you do this? He didn't say anything. He said, I can understand some things like this can happen. Material world is so crazy, so risky, so every step, anything like this can happen. I'm always praying for all my disciples that they should not fall down. But anyway, something has happened, so see how you can stay here, see what way you can still be engaged. You're free to contact me anytime, any help. So like that, it was a very touching exchange. So these are the examples that we have to follow because we also need, when something goes wrong in our life, we also want someone to help us, to empathize with us, to understand us and help us recover. But if we are resorting to then we are shutting the door. We are not giving that person a chance at all. Sometimes sannyasis would fall down. Prabhupada would say, you go from this continent, you go away somewhere. Go to Australia if you are from America. And you preach there. Doesn't matter. But don't give up spiritual life. Don't give up devotional service. Don't leave. Continue your preaching. Elsewhere, here maybe you're embarrassed. You can't face people. That you took sannyas vows and then you broke it, and then just go elsewhere and start like that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Thank you very much. Any questions? We have 6 or 7 minutes to go.
Just a small doubt, bro. We are working in a corporate, so usually it happens many times. Like our seniors are purposefully, they are not paying our hard work we do. Even though in complaint they say that it is not in our hand, we know that it is there in hand, but the purposefully do so. We are forgiving once, twice, but if something is happening, then how to go?
You see, what I mentioned to you is strictly in your dealings with fellow Vaishnavas. You can't apply those rules, these rules there and those rules here. That's a big, what is it, cat and dog fight kind of a world outside. See, Prabhupada also explains that we have to be smart where it is required. We don't have to be rude and we don't have to be quarrelsome, but we have to definitely be smart to defend ourselves and protect ourselves. Nothing wrong. That is part of Varnashrama Dharma. Husband is expected to support, protect his family, children, wife. We can't. Similarly, a king is expected to protect his people in his kingdom from other forces. So similarly, you're working in a corporate world, you can't apply these principles, cut, paste and apply. You have to be, these days when I say you should be smart, everybody goes to chat GPT. I don't know if that's what guys are doing. But nothing wrong if you are smartly replying. But one thing we have to understand, fighting is the last resort. We try everything else before that. That's the last resort, because generally no good results come out of fighting. Openly challenging him and fighting, no good results come. Other people will make note of your character, your aggression. They may not like it. They may not be comfortable. So we should be clever. We should know. But at the same time, we cannot say, okay, I'm a devotee, I have Kantimala, I cannot. So you do whatever you like. What can I do? My karma I'll face. No. Both are extremes. We have to balance it. Nothing wrong in fighting back. When I say fighting back, means protecting yourself through other means other than direct one-to-one personal fight. That is the last thing that you do. Prabhupada also says, these days everybody says, if the situation gets too toxic, go and ask for a change of department, change of project, something. And you tell your manager saying, Baba, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to ask for a change of project. You're making it very toxic. These days, companies are very sensitive to these kind of requests. You make a written request like that and they don't shift you. That can be viewed seriously later on. You can go back and say, I've got stress, I have anxiety, I have sleeplessness, I have insomnia, I have acidity, all because you didn't respect my request to give a different department. You're forcing me to work with someone who's so toxic. So the HR people are very careful. Dump it on them. I cannot work like this. You tell them, this guy is harassing me and doing so repeatedly. So take help wherever you can get. But it's not that you become Narsinghadev immediately and then start tearing up. Good question. Anybody else? All right, so what did we learn today? Can someone summarize? One or two if you can. Each one can mention one point. Somebody raised a hand there. You have a question? Yeah, you're fine.
So this part very nice, Prabhuji. So unnecessary criticism can destroy one's spiritual life. Very, very careful. So the antidote is to see something good in others. So whenever some mistake happens. And next thing is if someone is doing some mistake, if I have to put myself in that position and see what others want, how they want to treat me. So then
See, we have to be, smart in the sense, we can't help somebody cover it up also. We can't put it on WhatsApp and put it on broadcast mode also. We have to report it to somebody who can do something about it. His immediate authority or something. Look, this is what he's doing. I found him do this. I saw him do this. Maybe you should deal with it. You don't help him cover up, nor do you broadcast this everywhere. There's a golden rule. Sometimes in management we follow that. We don't let everybody know what mistake each individual person has done. No need. That person may feel completely humiliated. We should not do that. He may not have the capacity to take that kind of stress and humiliation. We tell this to somebody who can act, who is responsible, who can act in that manner, who can correct him, provide him shelter, counsel him, etc. So broadcasting is also not good. Covering it up is definitely not good. Okay? Anybody else? Yeah. Lava.
And for such a wonderful class, as you were telling that we started it because of a habit.
Yes. Without your knowledge, because there's some rasa, we are all conditioned souls. We like to criticize. We like to see others in fault, especially when he's successful. We have to say, I used to see him without any clothes, Baba. How can he become a judge? Possibly nahi, sawal hi nahi hai. Like that.
And one more, like you told, that antidote is that we start finding immediately some good qualities.
Yeah.
And that way, then that is the antidote.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I like the phone that we should see that devotees are also serving the Lord and that they are helping. So we can see that they might have some, because they are connected, they are trying to serve also. But they may have some other task because they are sadhakas, they are also trying to improve. So we should see them like if we should also try like they can be helped some or other way, so that we should not like try to criticize them. So it's also like very nice thing.
So what's the biggest problem with unwarranted criticism? Tell me. Unnecessary, unwarranted, unsolicited criticism, fault finding. What is the biggest problem with that? Huh? Inviting lot of negative qualities as well. The very quality that you're criticizing may come in you, if that's not your business to do so. Okay? Anything else?
Thank you so much for the wonderful points. How to become like when we have something means the fault finding tendency on our heart, because as a condition showed we have everyone, but how we can think like what is his good qualities, how we can develop that quality, and how can I aspire and respectful when we how this qualities the good form nature is so the antidote is that's very nice point. We have to appreciate him and that also be careful without disrespecting him and without any insulting. So we have to be careful in that point. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Okay. There was one hand that went up at the back. Yes, you want to say something? Shri Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jagat Guru Patit Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Guru Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Gaur Premanande.
His Grace Varada Krishna Prabhu ki.
whatever Prabhuji was speaking, I was very happy to hear because there was so much of genuine statements on that. Prabhuji is serving also as a chairman of Karnataka State Council. I'm also part of it. I'm also the convener of one of the committee working closely with Prabhuji. So there's some criticism which was there on Prabhuji, and I was seeing how Prabhuji was very nicely responding in the group. And I was very happy to hear directly from him that how he naturally takes the criticism and how he wants the devotee to advance in spiritual life. Therefore, when we hear senior devotees, their experiences are really wonderful. They have gone through it and have grown through it. Prabhuji once, when we were discussing, when Prabhuji told that how many years he spent in Krishna consciousness, I was wondering when he started, maybe I was in the school or maybe not born. So such wonderful devotees are there sharing their experiences and throwing light on how to handle different situations. In fact, on a note, at times when we are